Hi guys, welcome to today's video. Now this is going to be very different to anything I've ever done. It's not a beauty video and I'm a little bit nervous about putting this up, but I really hope you guys enjoy it. I noticed recently that I've been getting a lot of comments on my videos, which are lovely, so thank you, but they're saying things like, "You're so perfect, I wish I was as confident as you, I wish I had your life," and I just feel the need to address that I am 26 years old and some of you guys are very young. You're like 15, 16 years old, and when I was your age, I was not like this. I didn't look like this, I didn't talk like this, I didn't act like this, and I think it's quite important to talk about teenage years and having confidence. So I've roped in a few of my very, very best friends that I've known my whole life to talk about how they were when they were teenagers and how they feel differently now, what their insecurities were and how they kind of make themselves feel confident now. So I hope you find it interesting or maybe helpful or just kind of entertaining to watch and meet some of my best friends. So I'm going to ask them a few questions and I'm going to answer them too. So tell me about your 15-year-old self.
I was not very cool.
I feel like my 15-year-old self was so different from my 26-year-old self.
15-year-old me, strong-minded, maybe a bit too outspoken.
I think I had a mullet when I was 15.
I was very little, very little for my age group.
Huge eyebrows, like no wax or tweezers went near those till I was about 18.
When I was 15 I had braces, octagonal glasses which I thought were really nice, and then my hair in a ponytail and like two little bits coming down.
Very loud, but that was kind of a front because inside I was just dying.
I was shy. I wasn't shy around my close friends and family, but I remember my best friend Hannah is older than me, and I remember when she used to have parties at her house on a Saturday night, and I remember going to the parties and her friends would come up and talk to me and say hi, and I would just be so shy. I'd literally just say hi, and I remember in my head I was screaming, saying, "Say something, Lily," but I couldn't think of anything to say. Literally no words would just come out my mouth.
I thought I was really cool actually. It's quite embarrassing looking back now.
Feeling so anxious a lot and wanting everybody to like me all the time. Wanting to be included in everything. I used to have a really big fear of being left out.
Did you have any insecurities?
Yes.
I did actually. My lips. Loads of boys in school that would say like really silly things about it. Whereas as I got older, I've realised like it's quite an important part of myself actually.
Eyebrows, being really skinny.
Yeah, definitely being short was one of my things. At the school I was at, it was a girls' school, and they used to like for the school photo you had to line up in size order, and that would always really upset me and I'd really panic about it, and yeah.
I was really bad at school, like education wise. I pretty much like failed everything. To be honest, I didn't really try that hard. I probably could have done better, but I found everything really confusing. I didn't understand how to revise for exams. I felt like I'd never really been taught how. I felt like I was always the one in class to put my hand up. So that was an insecurity for me, being like not as clever as everyone else.
I don't know if I think I had more insecurities than securities.
I never got bullied for having red hair or anything like that, but I always felt really different from everyone because all my friends were either brown or blonde, and it was horrible to be the only one who didn't look like them.
I was so insecure. I was really bullied at school. I had been to a lot of different schools because I'd been so bullied.
Looks wise, I had a lot of insecurities. I just didn't feel like I was the pretty one in my friendship group. I felt like all my friends were a lot prettier than I was, and obviously my hair was a massive insecurity for me. I found it so stressful and I didn't feel pretty with that sort of hair because all my friends had like long, blonde, straight or brunette hair and it just looked so nice.
They were like, "Oh, who's Debs? Oh, the ginger one." It's like, now I love it, I don't mind, but when I was 15 I really hated it.
Also, because I am such a dark brunette, body hair comes with that, and I know when I was kind of a younger teen I found having like hairy arms and like maybe facial hair and stuff that I hadn't really figured out how to, you know, I would never go to get laser or get waxed when I was about 15. So then I just remember being really insecure about that. When I had to wear a bikini, I felt like I had quite hairy back compared to most people. It really wasn't hairy, I'm not like some kind of beast, but at the time it was like a huge deal for me, and I remember being really jealous of my friends who were blonde who didn't really have to worry about things like that.
Yeah, definitely just like being really skinny, I got teased a bit because my school uniform was skirts, and I tried to like petition to get trousers in just so I can kind of cover my legs.
So how did you find school?
School was okay. I came from a primary school that I loved and had my best friends, and then I moved to this girls' school which was quite strict and proper, so I found that transition a bit difficult.
I hate school, and then I've drawn a picture of school, SKL, and me with the speech bubble that says, I hate you. That's what I thought of school.
Having quite a strict family background, so when I was at school I felt like I could just completely be myself and like just, I don't know.
Like loose.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a really tough question because I feel like I didn't really stay at any particular school for long enough, unfortunately. In hindsight, I realise now that that was not particularly sensible.
I found school really hard. I went to a girls' school and I just felt like I felt really different.
Yeah, I didn't work very hard. I found it hard. I found it really hard, especially when it was coming up to GCSEs.
I also had a big group of out of school friends. All the girls you can see in this video are friends that I had from primary school, so I kind of missed them a lot when I was in school.
I remember always being really stressed about it, and now when I look back, I think that was like the least stressful time of my life.
This diary entry, Tuesday the 10th of June. Today I went to school. Carly, who's my sister, took me in. I had a chemistry test first, which I definitely failed, and I mean failed with a capital F. Then I had maths, which I thought went really well. Phew, it didn't go well, I failed. Okay, what about boys?
Yeah, boys were my entire life at 15.
Boys was funny actually. I was always like the girl that was like the best friend of the boys.
Boys, I had my first kiss when I was, I think, 13 and a half, and the boy would only kiss me if he got to kiss my friend first, which was always good for the old self-esteem.
I had friends that were so pretty and, you know, all the boys fancied them, and I really wanted to be that girl, but just wasn't really.
I was definitely never the one that the boys fancied.
It was a time when all my friends were getting boyfriends and having their first kiss, and I think I was the last one to kiss a boy.
They usually fancied Keisha, which is funny because she hated the attention and she never wanted anyone to fancy her.
But yeah, it's always a bit awkward with them, a bit shy. Didn't like when they came up to me.
I really liked boys, but they didn't really like me.
The thing with me is because I was loud, I've never really, I could always talk to boys. I was never the girl that couldn't talk to boys, but always as a friend.
My best friend at school, who's still my very good friend, blonde, very pretty, we would go out, and she's very smiley, so she smiles from ear to ear all the time, and my natural face is like, I think it's called resting bitch face. So when we would go out, people would always be drawn towards her because obviously she's very beautiful and very smiley, and there'd be me in the corner like looking miserable, so boys wouldn't really approach me as much.
I think we hung out with like a group of boys, but we were really young, and we used to just, I think me and my friends would have preferred to have been playing football outside than hanging out with boys, but we thought it was the thing to do, so we'd sort of meet up with these guys and have evenings in, and they were just all a bit awkward really.
How do you feel different now, like personality-wise, to back then?
Like in some ways, when you're a teenager, you're so confident because you have this like invincibility. Like you think you're invincible and you can do anything, so you have confidence from that. But then in other ways, because like you haven't grown into yourself at all, and you don't know who you are, you're really insecure. So I feel much more confident in myself now, like with my hair, like love having red hair now, whereas before I hated it.
I feel a lot more comfortable with who I am. I think at school and growing up through your teens, you want everyone to like what you're wearing and what you're doing, and you want to be in the in group, and you want to be sort of, you know, part of what's going on. And I think now it's, you know what, if people don't like what you're wearing or what you've said or what you like doing, or who cares?
Things that you think are the most important thing then, just you can't even remember, like now, 10 years later, or even like 5 years later.
I feel like a completely different person to when I was 15, 16.
I feel so much more confident to be different. I think that that's the biggest thing. You spend all your teenage years, and even some of the early parts of my 20s, wanting to be like everybody else. And actually, being different is really cool, and having not doing what everybody else does is actually really okay.
I think the main difference for me is that now I really don't care what other people think. It's not that I don't value other people's opinions, but it doesn't put me down. When I was younger, if someone didn't think I was pretty or had like a negative opinion about me, it would really affect me. Whereas now I feel quite happy with who I am, and if there's parts of me that I'm not happy with, that's up to me to change it. It's not up to someone else to not be happy with it. And what gives you confidence now?
What gives me confidence now? I think myself.
Having good energies around you and the love of your family, the love of your friends, and laughing is what makes me feel good and confident. Just not taking life so seriously and taking it all with a pinch of salt.
Like knowing who you are. I know that sounds really lame, and I've just come from a yoga class and feeling quite like zen, but like just knowing yourself. And when you're 15, you really haven't grown. And now I'm 26, I still don't think I'm a complete human yet, but definitely more of who I am than I was then.
I think my job has given me a lot of confidence. I have to meet people every day, different people, and so I have to put myself out there.
I think it's just kind of believing that you're good enough to do whatever you want to do, or if you, even at this age, you can still have insecurities, but if you say to yourself, I accept myself as I am, imperfections and all, I think that in itself gives confidence.
What gives me confidence? I don't really know. I think it's to do with the people who surround me, definitely.
Being kind to yourself. I think somebody said that to me once, and I didn't really understand what it meant, but being kind to yourself and not giving yourself such a hard time will make you feel more confident. Don't rely on other people to make you confident, because they'll make themselves confident. It's up to you to make yourself confident.
If you could give your 15-year-old self any advice, what would you say?
Just chill out a little bit.
Yeah, slow down, like don't grow up too fast, enjoy the moment.
Don't get a mullet again, that wasn't a good look. Smile more. People really appreciate it when you smile.
I'd tell myself to have more confidence in myself. I was always worried about failing. Actually, I wasn't even worried, I just kind of knew I would fail. Have more confidence in yourself. You know, I ended up going to uni and doing pretty well, which my 15-year-old self would never have guessed.
Just, it will be okay. Just do your best and try not to think things through so much in your head. I really remember making huge, great big deals out of things in my head and being so stressed and upset and crying endlessly over things. So I think definitely just it's going to be okay. Whatever happens, however bad it feels, however huge it feels, it will be okay one day.
Also, surround yourself with lovely people, and I did. I had some really amazing best friends, but I also allowed myself to be friends who didn't make me feel good, and that's something I do differently now. I'm quite strict with who I want in my life, and if I meet someone who I don't like, then I'm not going to kind of pursue the friendship. I like to have people around me who make me feel good, who are lovely, who are caring, and I think being around people who put you down and make you feel negative, whether it's their insecurity that they're trying to project onto you, I just don't have time for that. I don't want to have a negative kind of insecure life.
Just go with it, don't worry, just take each day as it comes, ride the little waves of teenage years, because at the end of the day it's all going to be okay, it's all fine, and just be true to yourself, be who you are.
So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Leave me a comment and let me know what you think and what you thought of my lovely friends, because I'm so happy they helped me film this. They were all so good on camera. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.